Welcome back to the It's Bigger Than Me podcast. I'm your host, Molly Trotter Gomez. I am very excited for our guest today. And when we were talking before we hit record, we were talking about, is this topic still relevant? And let me tell you, what we're going to talk about today will always be relevant. And it's going to flow in perfectly with a book that Miss Helena has that we're going to talk about, labeled and called It's Your Turn, but really to define success on your own terms. What does that mean? How do you do that? Being in the right environment to do that. So I'm very excited to introduce my new friend. We met online. You have met so many of my friends that I've met online. Hence, it's a really great place to meet great people. So you get to meet Helena today, and she is all the way on the other side of the world. So Helena, I would love for you to share, where you're from, a little bit about your background before we take a deep dive into the topic today.
Thank you, Molly. First of all, it's great to be on your show. I really feel honored to be here. So I am Helena Demuynck. I'm Belgian, living in the south of Spain, in the middle of nowhere, on the top of a mountain, with my dog and my chickens. And I combine my love for nature and for kind of farming with the work I do with women. So women work with me to shift their identity, to find new purpose in life, to create a new vision or a mission. So this is basically very, very deep personal growth work that I do with female corporate executives and entrepreneurs that wake up one day and say, is this all there is? There should be more. I invested all my time and my energy in my job or in my business, and I feel sometimes depleted. I feel alone. I feel unfulfilled. And so I work with them through coaching and through retreats. So they join me here on my mountain to
Mm.
be completely disconnected from all the noise that life is bringing us so intensively day by day and night. And I just love what I'm doing. Basically, it's about finding your voice, speaking your truth, and also find the ways and the platforms to do that. So you can connect with your stakeholders, connect with allies, and work together and co create whatever you want to manifest and co-create a better world in the end. That's the whole thing.
Beautiful. Well, first of all, your home sounds like an amazing retreat. That's so nice to be able to have that disconnection from society in a sense and just kind of be in your own realm, your own bubble. But the one thing I would love to ask is what you walk women through. Are there any personal stories that you can share? Because obviously you are speaking out of experience. I am sure of it from different things that you have overcome and gone through. So you can lead these women so they can be able to create the life and define success on their terms that they want. And so I'd be curious if there's any stories that you can share with us, just kind of paint the picture of where you've come from. So it really leads into how you pour into women today.
Absolutely. I think it's my life story. I have been brought up like a lot of us in terms of being told with the best intentions to study very hard and then work very hard. And then after that, you will see. So I did that. I wanted to become a farmer, honestly, until I was 16 or 17. When you asked me, what do you want to be when you're, grown up? I said, I want to be a farmer. I want to work with plants and trees and animals. Everybody said, no, don't do that. You will not be able to make money. You will not be successful with that. This is not a life. You have to study because you're intelligent and you're a good speaker. So go to law school and become a lawyer. So I went to law school. I didn't become a lawyer. So I already started not to follow that advice. But then I started working. You have your university degree and you want to valorize that or monetize that. I started my own business when I was 25, which is something that is not, rather peculiar. But because after 2 years in corporate life, I felt this is not for me. I cannot spend my energy in this politics and having to, you know, um, argue every time I have an idea or a project and I want to create. I'm going to do it myself. I don't need all this energy loss. And so I started my own business when I was 25, but there again, I followed what was expected from me: work extremely hard, grow, work long hours. And it has cost me a lot. It costed me my marriage. I had a certain way of upbringing my son. He's an amazing guy. He's 28 now, but it was very difficult. It was very difficult to combine that with my own business. I had 12 people on the payroll. I was in recruitment, so we worked in the evenings and on Saturdays because that was when candidates were available. So I did pretty crazy things. And there was a moment where I shifted my career again again, a moment where a lot of people said, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Why are you changing now? You have all this credibility in recruitment, and now you're going into coaching. And so I started coaching because I felt this need with my candidates. And long story short, I started coaching in 2007, and I completely reinvented my coaching practice and my coaching methodology because, again, I didn't feel fine and comfortable working with the traditional way of coaching methodologies. So basically, this is already living a life by design in terms of not doing what is expected from you, not doing what society is expecting or what your parents are expecting or what your partner is expecting from you, because this is just a script that has been written. I don't know by who and I don't know when, but a lot of people are following that, and it depletes them because they cannot really follow their dreams. They cannot manifest what they have inside. They cannot show their talents to the world. Does that make sense, Molly?
Of course it does. Of course it does. You're right. There was a script made long ago that people just started following, saying this is the norm. Everybody do that. But really, like you said, it is kind of soul sucking. It doesn't actually give us life at all. It just puts us in a system to do what everybody else is doing. So the ones that break out of the system and wake up, if you will, are always looking like the weird ones. They're like, "What are you doing? This doesn't make sense." But when you are
Yeah.
so just committed to following your heart and the path that the Lord gives you, it's like you have to really be able to know it's not going to be for everybody. And I get to focus in on that. And if that means other people end up falling off and out of my life, then okay, like that's their
Yeah.
choice. And so when you step into
Mm.
your truth and your purpose, it will detract, or it will repel people. It will also draw in the right people, which I'm sure that is a lot of worry that people that you work with, I'm sure I hear it all the time of, oh, but if I do step into what I want and who I am, what if that, pushes people away? But obviously, you've shared that you've had some of that as well. And how did you overcome those moments when those people ended up walking out or being pushed away?
Well, I understood that were just normal behaviors if you make choices that are not the standard choices. And a lot of people do have very good intentions when they give you advice, even sometimes when they judge you, because they judge you out of fear and they are projecting their own fears on you. Or they are confronted with something that they want to do for a long time, but they are afraid to do so, and then you do it. And then there's this envy or even sometimes jealousy. It is very important that you understand why people are, disconnecting when you take other paths, or sometimes you just outgrow them. And the problem is, especially for women, we are so afraid to do that because we have been taught and we have it in our DNA to care for people, to be inclusive. And we have this all, I would say, all over need to belong to our groups or communities or tribes or friends. And so when we want to manifest something that makes us do things that other people don't understand, we're very reluctant because we are afraid of losing them. And the thing is that for me it was understanding that there are phases in our lives and there's also phases in our relationships, and relationships cannot stop you from doing what you are destined to do. If they are doing that, they're not the right relationships. So if you continue with on your path and those relationships fade away or break, then that is just what needs to be done.
Mm,
It's it's very hard to say, but it's not the end of the world. It is just something organic. It's normal. We're not supposed to have relationships from the day we were born until the day we die, and keep those all this time. It is just about making those choices that are aligned with your values and with your purpose. And the people that really have your back will come with you. And you will meet new people that you can serve or that you can co-create things with.
yes.
That was for me how I looked at it and how I still look at it. Might be different for other people. Maybe other people find other solutions or another, way of looking at things in order to make it work for them. But that was what worked for me. Yeah.
I love that. And you have to find what works for you. And you said something really key, which is really interesting to think about. when you don't have relationships from the day that you're born to where you are now, I happen to do have a friend that we've been close since we were 6 years old, and I'm 35 now. And it's kind of rare to have a friend that's like decades and decades for decades long and still be close. But there are plenty of people I thought we'd be friends forever, and I haven't talked to them in years, and we have no contact. And I am a very big proponent of I want to go collect new friends, meet new friends. I think we met in a podcast group. I mean, I meet people all over the world, anywhere, because I'm so eager to learn about other people. Clearly, having a podcast to share their story and the wisdom that you're sharing right now, Helen, is so beautiful because I think people so much want to feel understood and be connected that, like you said, they get scared of, well, I know I'm meant to do this other thing, but is it at the expense of being connected or even being understood of who I really am? So I feel like at the core of it all, everybody wants to be understood. There's a piece of us that's like, I don't feel like people really understand me. They don't really know who I am, what I love, what I'm about. But a big part of that is people aren't willing to share or even take those big steps of, yes, I'm going to go against the grain. Everybody's going right and I'm going left. What are you doing? Well, it's because you have to follow your heart and what it is that you know that you're meant to do. And like you said, people will project their fear on you. And I love that you said that. I've seen that in so many areas of my life. And I hope people really understand. You can see the love in the other person, that they're not trying to hurt you or damage you, but it's just their fears projecting onto you. And we still get to love them, but it doesn't mean we have to take their advice, because it may not obviously be for you. And I'd love to hear if you have anything to say about that.
Absolutely. I think it's so important to understand that the people that you surround yourself with are really determining what you do and what you can, and are determining the potential that you develop. I don't mean that people who are very close to you and don't really see what you want to do, that you have to break with them, or that you have to go away from them. It's just so important not to let them impact you, and look for a tribe of people that has your back, that's really supporting you and sponsoring you for who you are and what you want to achieve and who you want to become. And I see that in my coaching work. Sometimes it's like anecdotic, it's like funny. So I have people that come here because I do 5-day retreats here with my clients, one-on-one, so individual retreats. And so they come here and they say, my partner said, are you going to be the same woman when you come back? And then I start smiling and I said, well, I hope not, because that's the whole point. We are here for a transformation for 5 days. And then of course we will follow up after that. But you want to change. Apparently your partner doesn't want you to change, because you are both in this relationship in a comfort zone. I mean, even if it's sometimes not, sometimes it's even going bad, but it is what you know. And what you know is comfortable. Even if what you know hurts, it's comfortable, right? And so if you have um, ideas or plans or dreams that will change the interaction, or that will change the setting of relationships, be it with your partner or with your children or with your parents or with colleagues, there will be resistance. Be aware of that. And it's not because they don't, they don't want you to be happy. It's because they're just afraid that it will disturb what we know, right? 5 years ago, I moved to Spain permanently. I have a 20-year-old son who has a job. He studied, he has a job, he has a wife, he's going to be a father in 2 months. He's a very happy guy. I'm so proud of him and so happy with him. But he says, Mom, you're going to Spain. That's 2,000 kilometers. I know for your audience in the US, that's nothing, but in Europe, that's a lot. I said, yeah. And he said, but we are not going to see each other that much. And when I have children, you will not see your grandchildren a lot. I said, yeah, I know that. I know that. That's the price I pay for doing what I want to do. And sometimes people say that's egocentric. And I
Mm.
say, no, it's not, because it's not like I'm here thinking only to do things for myself. I'm here to be in a place that is grounding me. That's make sure that I can be present in order to share my message to the world. And so this is not something that I do only for myself. It is creating a setting where I believe is the best one for me and for some people involved, and it has consequences, but there are solutions for everything. And yes, sometimes it's hard, but if you make choices in order to, to follow your heart and to align with your values and your vision, then you know that you are on a good trail, then you know that you are on a good journey. And it is about being transparent and having these conversations with the people who love you and who say, I don't know if I can agree with that, because you are going to change things.
Mhm.
But change is good.
It is. And I love that you are just so committed to what it is you know that you need, because so many people are so used to people pleasing. Well, do what's best for me. So many people pick others over themselves, and that has become toxic in some regards. Let's just be honest, because it's like if we keep choosing others over ourselves, then it's like I never feel fully at rest or fully at home or where I need to be. So, like you said, even though you live 2,000 kilometers away, it's not that you can't go travel. Is it convenient? No, but it doesn't mean you can't go travel and go make plans and go see things. There's always a way. It's just a matter of how. So I love that you said that,
Exactly.
because it is worth it. You're fighting for what it is that you need, for the space that you need, for everything that, yeah, things around you that you need in order for you to operate and be able to serve in the way that you can. Now, I would love to shift gears just a little bit and talk about this book that you have. It's called "It's Your Turn." I would love for you to share a little bit about that. We'll have links in the show notes. Yes, talk with us. What is this all about?
It's your turn basically is a manifest or a rally for women to show up in a different way. Basically, it is a script for escaping societal boxes and manifesting your true greatness. And I wrote it because I feel that we as women, we have a very important role in the world. We have very important contributions to make, and we don't make them.
Mm.
I look at politics. I look at countries. I look at organizations. I look at, supranational organizations, and especially now we look what is going on. It's a male-dominated world, right? It's a white man-dominated world, and sometimes I think we are on a playground. This is very harsh what I'm saying now, but it is all about winning, competition, goal setting, excluding, everything driven by fear in terms of creating stories in social media, in the media, about what we have to be afraid of. And because we are afraid, we accept a lot of things that people and organizations and the system put on us. I believe as women that we have been deprived from a lot because we don't show up and we don't use our voice, and we have a voice and we have feminine qualities and feminine leadership qualities that are not that are not brought to the table, that are not part of the equation in negotiations about countries, about trade, about whatever is going on in the world. And a lot of us, especially the last couple of years, we are in this protection mode. We are closed and we just don't want to be bothered too much because there's so much going on already. And so my book is about understanding our words and understanding what we can contribute in the world. And it is basically it's creating a path that is documented by interviews. I interviewed women who were like already manifesting what I was writing about, so you can have like examples and understand what it is and how women got to that. And then there's an online part also that is helping you to integrate that with reflection prompts and with assessments and with practices in order to really become the woman that you are, the one that is hidden inside because of everything that the system and society puts on us.
Mm.
And so this is my book. It's kind of my own story, but it's an invitation for women to live their lives fully, unapologetically, and look further than their own small tribe like family or team, because there's so much impact that we can have, and there's so beautiful examples of people who have I was talking, one of the people I interviewed, one of the women is I interviewed is Pamela Thompson, and she just launched her book, if I may, Truths and Contradictions. She spent 13 months in Afghanistan.
Mm.
She spent 13 months working in Afghanistan with women who live in completely different circumstances than we in US and in Europe and Canada. to find that basically we are all the same as women. We have dreams, we have so many things to give, so many ways to serve the world. And wherever we are, we can do it in very small amounts or really big. But as long as we do this together, as long as we build our tribes, we are extremely powerful. And so, yeah, that's what my book is about. That's what my work is about, and it is what my life is about. Because to me, it is very important to speak up, to speak your truth, and also, and this is also what you do, Molly, to provide the platforms to do that with talk shows and podcasts, so women can speak up and talk about their vision and talk about what is important in life, and to inspire and encourage other women to do so. Right?
Yes, I mean, I love hearing it, and I know other people do too. And what I love about your story, Helena, and even though I haven't had a chance to read your book yet, I love that you live it out. You're talking it, you're living it, you write a book about it. There's so many people that can talk, but they're not actually walking out the hard things. Because when you walk it out, then you can obviously speak from that place of your own truth and your own convictions and experience. So I love that you do that. And this has just been so enriching. I love just how power packed this episode has been. And I'm sure people are curious about your book, which I know we'll have a link in the show notes that you'll send to me so we can make sure people can have that. Is there anything else you would love to leave them before we jump off this podcast today?
Well, I think I'm very interested to connect with women who have a story to tell, who want to share this story with me, or who are looking for a platform to share it. I'm really interested to connect, to learn, and so if you are open to that, just connect with me on LinkedIn. I am very accessible on social media, and LinkedIn is my platform. And I would really like to invite you to read the book. Every book that I'm selling, 1/3 of the revenue is also going to a woman in Kenya. That is a project via buy one good one, buyonegiveone.com. And every book I'm selling, I'm helping a woman in Kenya with a business education and a microcredit so she can start her own business and support her family and maybe also her community. And this is one of the examples, again, walking the talk, how we can have impact in ways that are very easy, but really important to do. It's basically walking the talk of the book. And so, yeah, it's an invitation to learn and to look how you can contribute in this world and make this a better place for, especially for women and children that are still suffering by decisions that are made and by wars that are fought for nothing. Yeah.
Well, thank you. That is amazing. That is amazing that the book revenue, part of that revenue goes towards that to just help better other people's lives. So if you have not found one, I'm sure you have found many and you have a list, so many reasons to reach out to Helena, to get her book, to be in touch with her. But Helena, thank you so much for your time and just being on this show. We are so excited for just what this show is going to bring for the people that are listening. And we just thank you for your time again today. It's been amazing.
Thank you, Molly, for giving me the opportunity to share my vision and my book. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Of course, of course. All right, everyone. Well, we will see you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. It means the world to me that you would lean in, listen in, and be able to hear the value that's being shared on this show. Don't forget, if you love this episode, rate the show, leave me a review, be sure to share it with a friend, and don't forget to tag me on social media. I will definitely be giving you a shout out. Also, come say hi, drop in the DMs. I would love to be able to hear what stood out to you the most on the episode, and if there's any topics that you would like to hear on the show. We'll see you next time.